There has been an alleged coup in Côte d'Ivoire. For the past few days, social media has been abuzz with pictures and videos coming out of the cities of Abidjan and other cities of Ivory Coast showing states of unrest, unsettlement, and sometimes bonfires and buildings set ablaze, with people saying and reports coming out that there has been a military takeover in Côte d'Ivoire. And many of you who don't know where Côte d'Ivoire is or heard about Côte d'Ivoire for the first time, Côte d'Ivoire, which is also the Ivory Coast, is a country in West Africa, with boundaries with Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Liberia, Guinea, and the Gulf of Guinea. So the Ivory Coast is a country that has over 30 million people, with their major exports being cocoa. They are actually the largest producer of cocoa in the world. Ivory Coast is also divided into the north and the south. The north are predominantly Muslims, while the south are predominantly Christians. Now, over the years, there has been silent unrest in the streets of Abidjan and other towns of Ivory Coast because of lots of political tensions. These tensions started as far back as 2010. Yes, when the current president Alassane Quattarra took over power from then President Laurent Gbagbo. Who is this current president of Ivory Coast? His name is Alassane Quattarra. Yes, work with me. Alassane Quattarra is the current president of Ivory Coast, who took over power after a civil war that lasted for about 6 to 7 months in the year 2010 and 2011. Alassane Quattarra happens to be from the northern part of Côte d'Ivoire and is a Muslim by faith. He is 83 years old and he was born in 1942. But how did all this start? Let me take you back to 2010 when they held general elections in Ivory Coast against the then incumbent Laurent Gbagbo and this present one, Alassane Quattarra. It was a heavily and fiercely contested election that led to the victory of Alassane Quattarra that got majority of the polling result. But the present president refused and found a way to manipulate the result to favor himself, leading to, unrest, civil unrest that later led to a civil war. Now, during this civil war, the United Nations supported Alassane Quattarra. Also, French forces also supported Watara against Gbagbo, who actually refused to hand over power to the victor, which was Alassane Quattarra. This led to a very big, major civil war that almost threw the country of Ivory Coast in crisis. After several months of fighting, Laurent Gbagbo, the former president, was captured, leading to the swearing in of Alassane Quattarra as the substantive president of Côte d'Ivoire in the year 2011. I want you to note that this war lasted from November 2010 to April 2011 because the elections happened somewhere in 2010. Now, after the war was over in April 2011, Alassane Quattarra took over power and was sworn in on May 2011. Let's go on. So after that civil war, Alassane Quattarra took over power starting from that May 2011, and his tenure was for 5 years. After the first 5 years, he was re-elected again after a successful election campaign in 2015. Now, in 2015, after he won the election for second tenure, Watara did something. He went and fought for a constitutional amendment that changed their constitution to include a third tenure. And that third tenure now will now be for 6 years. And the funny part is that he made himself available to still contest for that third tenure. That third tenure will be for 6 years, and he himself, having done 10 years already, will still be eligible to contest for this 6-year new tenure when his own expires in 2020. This did not go down well with the people of Ivory Coast, did not go down well with the politicians, did not go down well with the opposition parties and the youths. But that's what happened. In 2020, he actually contested again for the third tenure. Instead of him to hand over power, Alassane Quattarra contested for elections and the opposition backed out. Opposition like Kenan Bede and Pascal Afi Ngwesan, these key opposition members, did not contest that election, leading to Alassane Quattarra defeating nobody in the polls by 94%. United Nations came out to condemn it. African Union, ECOWAS condemned it, but that was all. There was no other, modus operandi put to make sure that they pressure him out of office. And since then, Ivory Coast has been facing silent tension. Since 2020, there has been tension in the streets of Ivory Coast, and the Francophone countries already have a deep apathy for the French itself, knowing very well that they have now understood that perhaps this man is a stooge of the French who is sent here to cripple our lives and destroy our destinies, that we will not move forward. If not, tell me, this man that we all fought to come into power, this man that we all shed our blood, that was the hope of our democracy, has turned out to be a tyrant that wants to sit put, like Paul Biya of Cameroon and other ones in West Africa, Guinea and co, that they are not going to take it. But what could they do? There was little or nothing they could do, because remember that once holds power in Africa, he has the power for the military, the power for all the armed forces, and definitely can do whatever he wants to do. But fast forward a bit, there has been an emancipation sweeping through West Africa. There has been a new revolution going on in the neighbors of Côte d'Ivoire, like Mali, like Senegal, like Burkina Faso, very importantly, and by Guinea. These neighbors around it have taken over power through military regime. And these are all Francophone countries like the Côte d'Ivoire. This makes the Côte d'Ivoire youth also to silently, detest, silently resist the Côte d'Ivoire president, because the Côte d'Ivoire youths are already sensitized enough in anger of this manipulation and theft of the democracy that has happened over the years. And this might have been just the perfect time for them to capitalize, and take matters into their hands to save themselves. Because let me tell you, people whisper in the streets of Africa. People whisper in the streets of the world. When people are not happy, definitely they talk. They might come in the open and they don't say anything because of fear. But deep down inside them, they are looking for a savior. And once a savior comes, you know the real heart of man about you. Because in the middle of all this unrest in Côte d'Ivoire, in the middle of all this political betrayal, grabbing of power and suppression of the people of Côte d'Ivoire, there is a new sense of prosperity among its neighbors. There is a new sense of Africanness, a new sense of revolution among its neighbors of Burkina Faso, of Mali, of Niger, of Guinea, and these things sweep across, because all these countries are the same, if not for the artificial borders created by the overlords. Africa are all one. News spread like wildfire. So it's possible that this feeling of emancipation that has been sweeping the neighbors of Côte d'Ivoire has found its way into the youths and the hearts and minds of Côte d'Ivoire itself, leading to this cool scare we are hearing, which actually, as of now, is not 100% confirmed, but looks very likely, because the news coming out of Ivory Coast now shows that there is something. And remember, there is no smoke without fire. So before we can get more updates and more concrete, stories from Ivory Coast itself, which, as we hear right now, is under internet shutdown. It's under internet shutdown. That means no calls, no text, and no video, no audio, no internet. So until then, we will keep watching, paying close attention to see what news will come out of there. But before then, this is just a roundup of Ivory Coast and the situations that brought us to where we are today. For you listening to me, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe to this channel for more serious, strong, revealing updates like this that will keep you enlightened on what is going on in Africa, beyond, and even around your environment. We call upon the government of Africa to listen to the plight of your people, to wake up. The emancipation time is coming. Wake up. The youths of Africa today are not the youth of Africa at yesteryears. Africa is taking shape. Anybody that does not want to shape in will be shaped out. You may seem as if your own country is safe because you have control over tribal, religious, or ethnic lines. But definitely, you never know. You never just know. You never just know. So it's good for you to smell, to smell the cooking in the kitchen and know when to leave or know when to bring your plate and ask for food, depending on who is cooking. For now, African youths are cooking. Are they calling you to eat? Or are they telling you to leave the kitchen? Until then, I have been your host, Chinedu. Sign out to your favorite show, Direct on the Spot, the show where we hit it hard and hot on matters of concern that shape and affect our daily lives. And as always, we say no to every form of discrimination, disrespect. We promise to always say the truth all the time. Thank you for listening. Till I see you in the next video. Peace.